A pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you, our listening audience. We are indeed happy to have you with us this afternoon, and we thank you for tuning in to the Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio with the Relationship and Marriage Hour. We are so happy to be spending this 1 hour with you on this station today on the topic recycling relationship. And we're talking about off and on relationships. And I believe, Dr. Alvin, this is a good topic for today because, many times we see people in a relationship today and then tomorrow they're not. So, in the event you're wondering what is recycling relationship, it's just that. Sometimes you're in a relationship, and for various reasons, whatever the reason may be, you may decide to call off that relationship, or circumstances may have it that that relationship is called off. And again, later down the road, you would start that relationship again. The only thing is that there are some relationships that are broken because of situation, because there are some reason that either spouse or either friend may feel that I don't want to pursue this any longer. Maybe I'm not ready now, or he is not ready, she is not ready now. So it's better we go our separate ways now. And fate would have it that later on down the road, you would meet again and you'd find that, oh, she has matured. So you start that relationship again. The question is it a good thing to do or is it not? Um, so we're going to be talking about this topic with you this afternoon, and we're happy to have our co-host, Dr. Alvin Hepburn, and I'm going to just permit him a few minutes. He will just say hi to you or however he wants to greet you, and then we will get started with the show. Dr. Alvin.
Good afternoon again, Dr. Maria, and those listening to us on this broadcast. It's a privilege once again to be here where we can talk about marriage and relationship issues to our listening audience. Yeah, I think this is like all of our topics that we talk about. I think this one is quite interesting as well, talking about on again, off again relationships. Yeah, so I will encourage those listening to call a friend, to call a loved one, call your significant other, and have them tune in to us for this hour as we discuss this topic. Doc?
Thank you, Dr. Hepburn. And let me just let the audience know my name is Marie McDonald. Dr. Alvin, like my mom, calls me
Mhm,
Maria. And
mhm.
I don't know why they give me another name, but we're happy. Um, I answer to both of them actually. So,
Yes.
yes. Okay, so we're going to get started, Doc. And one of the things we want to look at first before we really delve into the topic is what are some of the reasons that would cause persons to want to call off a relationship? It may be an engagement, it may be a wedding, I mean, a marriage, sorry.
Mhm, mhm.
And you found out that I have had enough, I don't want this relationship. What are some of the reasons, Dr. Alvin, you think can cause people to reach that point? I am ready to call this off uh, because this doesn't seem to be going in the direction that I would like.
Mhm.
Dr. Alvin, let's talk about
Let's
this.
start there. The first thing I would say, Doctor Marie, is as we go to the Bible, um, there's a scripture that says, two cannot walk together. This is in Amos. Two cannot walk together unless they agree. One version says it this way: two cannot go while holding hands in different directions. Okay. I think, Doc, that that is one of the reasons why people call off relationships because you've been trying in the relationship to see how your goals, your aspirations mesh, or whether it could be compatible or it could mesh with the other person's. And if both of you are stubborn and your goals aren't aligning, then that could be a cause for a breakup. Also, it could be lack of maturity. One person in the relationship is not as mature as the other, and the mature person says, "You know what? I thought I could have bear this, but I can't bear it anymore. So let's just go our separate ways." That's another reason. Another reason could be, okay, somebody have wandering eyes. Uh, you you saw somebody else and you went and you cheat. We call it cheating, eh? You cheat
Hmm.
on your partner, and that could be another reason. So we can start with those three. Those are three reasons right there that that I think leads persons to separate in a relationship. Um,
Yes.
you're not mature, you have wandering eyes, and we are not compatible. Our goals, our future goals does not align.
Hmm.
So as a
And,
result, we separate.
and I like that, Dr. Alvin. They are very key points
Mhm.
in the reasons why people go their separate ways. And when we
Mhm.
talk about not aligning, that is, I would say that's almost number one.
Yes,
Because
yes.
if we are not, like you gave the reference from the Word of God, if you are going that way and I'm going the opposite way, then automatically we are not
Mhm.
aligned.
Mhm.
And for me, I would say it's better for you to just continue going that way. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
When we think about maturity, if a person is not mature, that's very damaging as well for
Mhm.
relationships.
Yes, yes.
Very damaging, you know. So I think, like you say, we can stay right there. What about when we are not aligned, but yet we force it? And I think that is what is happening in a lot of our relationship. Rather than stop and look at the whole picture, see if we want to take the risk of going into it, even though we are not compatible.
Mhm.
Some persons still do it,
Mhm.
right? And
And
it's only
Doc,
a matter of time.
Doc,
Yeah.
some of them enter those relationships thinking that they can get their partner to change
Yes. That's
their
a
views, their goals, so that, okay, I know you want to do this, but look what I want to do. Bring yours in with mine, and let's see
mhm,
how we do. And that's why I talk about this. You being stubborn. If both of you are stubborn, and if somebody, if your goals do not align, and somebody don't say, I'm gonna put mine on the back burner. Oh
mhm,
no, that don't care how long the relationship lasts. Eventually, even if the relationship lasts, it's
mhm.
not going to be a healthy relationship
No, no.
because one partner will always resent the other for, listen, I gave up everything for you. I gave
Yes.
up all my goals. I gave up my future, all that type of stuff for you, and it don't seem like you appreciate me for it. So,
Wow.
so eventually that relationship will
Always.
dismantle.
Yeah. It will always have.
In my viewpoint,
Yeah. It will always be a sore point.
yes.
That
Hmm.
person who seemed cheated. And here's a perfect testimony in respect to that. I
Yes.
remember when I got married and we started to look for our home and deciding to build. I wanted to go split level. My husband wanted to go single. So here's what I gave up my desire because to please him. So later on, in life when we were doing some remodeling. I said, "Oh, now this is a time for us to do the split level." And he was like, "Are you crazy? We're getting old. We don't need to have a split level." Now, that for me was not enough to cause a breakup. But it is in situations like that. I give up my rights so we can now
Yeah.
come together, mesh, as you would
Mm-hmm.
say.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you didn't keep your end of the bargain.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that is what causes people to lose,
Yes.
and sad with all of this. Usually, when there is
Animosity, all that stuff.
animosity,
Yes.
right? But usually, Dr. Alvin, when you see problem brewing in a relationship, if you check behind the scene, there is something that caused that to be built up. It just doesn't start and build.
Mm-hmm.
Something is in the background. Now, I personally could have
Like
allowed
there's.
it to cause me
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
be angry or do something, but
Mm-hmm.
I just let it go, right? Others
Yeah.
may not.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's a saying that we say that that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Not that
Exactly.
when you look at that straw in and of itself, you're like, boy, that camel should have been able to carry that straw. But
Exactly.
this straw was put on millions of other straws.
Mm,
And you have people, and that's how come, doc, it is a relationship that is on, because
mhm.
the person is saying, okay, yes, you are our goals may not align, but I see some more qualities in you that I could gel with.
Yes.
But as those straws start to add up, as the straws start to add up, it gets to the point where you're like, you know what? I've taken one straw too many, and I'm not
Hmm.
dealing with this anymore. So,
Exactly.
so that's what can cause that breakup.
Yes.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah. And that is such, they are good points, Doc. Very good points.
Mhm.
It's not the little thing that came up last, but
Yeah.
it is what was already in place.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we must be able to align. If there is no alignment, then of course, and that is why when we talk about counseling for marriage, this is one of the things we would look for. There
Mm-hmm.
must be compatibility. There must
Mm-hmm.
be what it is that brought you together. Are
Mm-hmm.
you walking together? Because
Mm-hmm.
this is in itself alone enough to break a relationship
Mm-hmm.
and end it, right? When we think of lack of maturity, that can do a lot of damage. Some people may put up with it, and some people refuse to. Because if you are
Mm-hmm.
immature, whereas you're causing stress in the relationship, no one's going to put up with
Mm-hmm.
that,
No.
you know.
No.
So lack of maturity is a big one. Now, the bigger one too, I say it's not being
Mm-hmm.
aligned, but there is something called, we call it the wandering eye, we call it infidelity, whatever, in a relationship. You taking it beyond, you know.
Yeah.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
I was reading a bit of news the other day where the wife found out her husband was having an affair, and she just, I don't know
Mm.
what happened, but she just ended right there, right? She took his life,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think
Well, she
for,
took his life.
oh yes, she took
Oh
his life.
wow.
She took his life.
When I thought you say she ended, I thought she ended the relationship.
She
Oh
ended her
wow.
relationship with him, right? Because
Wow.
that's how serious this thing is. You don't play
Mhm.
with another person's life. If you're not ready
Yeah.
to settle down, and this person may have all the qualities that you're looking for, but that one in a
Mhm.
person, in a spouse, but that one. Listen, if that person cannot settle down, that same one is enough to cause you to write
Yes.
that relationship off and not to regroup again, perhaps,
Yes. Doc,
because
because one thing you need in a relationship is trust. And if I
trust.
can't trust you, I
Yes,
there's no need for that
ex-
relationship.
exactly.
Hmm.
And I think that is the reason there are so many relationships that are broken. Um,
Hmm.
and if even if they're not broken, they're not healthy
Yes.
in the sense that she or he has to keep looking over his shoulder. Is she
Hmm.
seeing somebody else? Is he seeing somebody else? If he look at someone, why are you looking at her? Or
Hmm.
it's
Who
not
you
a
talking
health.
to on the phone?
If
All
you
kinds.
understand, it's not healthy.
Hmm.
And I
Toxic.
think, yeah, I think, Doc, for peace of mind, for some people, it's better for you to keep going separate
Hmm.
until, because that also reflects a lack of maturity.
Yes, yes, it does. Hmm. It does.
Because if you cannot be woman or man to your word and trust is not in the picture, you're not ready for a relationship, right? Now, they are the reasons, but yet we find this is where recycling comes in. We find that persons may have gone through any, maybe one of these reasons that we give, and they would
Hmm.
come back a year or two later, maybe some of them less, and they
Hmm.
start that relationship over
Hmm.
again.
Hmm.
Doc, what do you think?
Let
I
me
mean,
use my personal experience, and I use it when I am also doing my marriage counseling with persons. Um, Sometimes, doc, separation is good.
mhm,
There's a saying that we say absence make the heart grow fonder. Sometimes, sometimes you don't know what you
what?
have until you don't have it anymore, and that can help you now to appreciate it more if you get it back. Um,
Mhm,
there, Tanya and I, um, boyfriend girlfriend, having a good time. I want to take it to the next level. Um, she thought I was moving too fast, so
right.
we decided okay to discontinue. However, Doc, I still don't understand where the discontinued happened because she still wanted us to talk every day. She it's like, hold it now, hold it. I thought we discontinued this relationship. But anyway, it allowed her to be not afraid and to be free and to grow at her pace.
Very
And
good.
sometimes um, one of the parties may be a faster mover than the other,
Mhm,
and there may be a okay, I'm afraid of this, let's step back, I have to reevaluate what is happening with me, what I want, and then we could come back and regroup. I
mhm,
think that is healthy. I
yes,
actually think, doc, that that's even healthy in marriage.
yes,
I think that there are some times that there should be a okay, you go in your corner, I go in my corner, and let me find who Alvin is. Cause the more I know about Alvin, his limitations, his strengths, the better I can be the husband that I need to be, the better I can be even the father that I need to be. So there has to be some time of separation. When I say separation, not us saying we're going to get a divorce or I leaving the house, but I could take a vacation by myself, or or sometimes this is what I do. I say, okay, well, let me go to Grand Bahama because we live here in Nassau. Let me go to Grand Bahama and see my family.
mhm,
So there's a separation for a couple of days while I'm in Grand Bahama. Mind you, I'm seeing my family, but it is that separation that lets me think, boy, I really missing Tanya. This girl is all of that,
yes,
and I can't wait to get back home.
mhm, yes,
so so I agree sometimes for the separation so you can evaluate who you are and the relationship that you're in. Did
mhm.
that make sense?
Yes. Actually, I see that as the healthy separation. That's the healthy
Yes.
one.
Yes, yes,
And that is good because it gives you that time to think. But what
yes.
I don't call it healthy is when you simply separate. We are not coming together. Where actually you separate with an intent of ending it.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, but you come back, you find yourself back. Maybe in a month later, you're back together.
Mm-hmm,
Then I
mm-hmm.
wonder how many breakup is enough, or how many breakups should there be? You understand? Because
Yeah,
no, you could see yours was healthy,
yes,
but there are some people they breaking up every week.
yes. That's too toxic. Separate. Mm-mm.
So you saying then the solution is separate?
Yeah, yeah. Every week, dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's something wrong there.
right. So if so, for it to be considered healthy in my book, um, maybe um, like you say, you take a trip, you go to your
Mm-hmm,
family, and you have time to think things over.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe you may have to do that maybe once a year, or
Yeah,
maybe
mm,
not even that much. But it's
yeah,
good. It's
yeah,
healthy.
yeah.
Like
It
you say,
is.
absence makes a heart founder. But
Mm-hmm,
if I'm dating someone, I'm in a relationship, and every time I see or you see me, I where's your we ain't together no more. But you
mm-hmm,
next couple weeks we together. I believe that there should not, if you have to have three of those breakups, then you need to check your relationship.
mm-hmm. That's puppy
Because
love. That's puppy relationship.
puppy relationship.
Mm-hmm,
Right. So recycling, we don't want to recycle for the wrong reason, because when you
mm-hmm,
discover there is an issue,
mm-hmm,
if that issue isn't solved when you break up the first time, then why are you back together the second time?
mm-hmm,
Fix that issue. And especially if in a marriage you could be a little bit more tolerable. But if you are dating,
mm-hmm.
for me, once is enough. Because
But dog, think about it. If we gotta separate whenever there's a problem, then you don't know how relationships work
that too, yes,
because relationships grow in
yes,
chaos.
yes,
What is that? What do I mean? Conflict will happen.
it
Between
will.
humans, there will be conflict.
Yes,
But you
yes,
now need to learn the tools, learn how
hmm
to use the tools to get above the conflict, to resolve the conflict. And that lends to a healthier relationship. If
yes,
every time Tanya and I disagree or have a conflict and I say I going to Grand Bahama until this blow over,
right.
then our relationship will be very weak.
It will be. Yeah, you got to
But
face the music. Yeah,
yes, you gotta face it. You
yes.
gotta face it. If you are running away, you ain't ready. You are not mature. You are not ready for a relationship. You
So that's
and when I say a relationship, I'm not just talking boyfriend, girlfriend, eventually husband and wife, because conflict happens.
yes,
Dog, me and my brothers, me and my sisters, their conflict, me and my
yes,
parents, conflict. That's
always.
just human beings. The way we are made, we all think different, we
Hmm.
analyze different, our perspectives are different. And
Yes,
just like I want people to respect me for my perspectives and my view, I must do the same for others.
yes, others. That's right.
And that was developed in relationship.
Yes, yes, yes. And Doc, you said something that I think is very important, and I don't want to miss it. You said they when if there's a constant breakup, it simply means they do not understand how to
Mhm.
resolve, or not verbatim, how to resolve the issue. They do not
Yes.
know how to deal with the relationship. And, and,
Yes.
and that proves where our young people, and anyone for that matter, needs to know when you're going into relation, why you're getting married. That's my
Mhm.
first thing. Why do you want to marry this young man? Why do you want to marry this young lady? Is it because everybody's getting married? Do you understand what you are getting into? Do you understand? In a relationship, it's not always roses. You have some thorns in the midst, but
Mhm.
you have to know how to ease the thorn away from your flesh and keep
Mhm.
moving,
Mhm.
right? But a lot of people do not understand marriage. Why you
Yeah.
going into it? What are you hoping to achieve when you get married? And they become bored because they did not know, Doc, why I got married.
Mhm.
What am I hoping to achieve? Uh,
Mhm.
um, Together, you can accomplish much. You raise a family. You are now being responsible for raising um, um, good young people, good citizens for the country, not
Mhm.
children that are growing wild. And it
Yeah.
proves that our people do not really understand why they get married. But Dr. Alvin, I heard something this week that blew my mind. I was listening to a documentary and they were talking about, I think, UE, that's the state, United Emirates,
Mhm.
whatever. And they said that when a person is about to be married, they train them, they give them lessons on
Mhm.
marriage. And I'm like, that is so powerful. They give them training
Mhm.
lessons on
Mhm.
how to be married and what it's all about. For the
Mhm.
Western world, a lot of us very seldom have any knowledge other than the little that we see, and we think it's always right.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know,
Not only that, doc, I think they also allow the couple um away from work for about a year
wow,
so that they can bond.
wow. They take marriage
Hmm.
serious. Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah,
That is beautiful.
and that's very serious.
Yes.
That is very good. Uh huh.
And I like that. And
Yeah,
a lot of what is being experienced today with our young people is because of lack of knowledge,
and training, yes.
training, right? So,
But then, too, doc, this generation, they think it, and they think it should just appear. They want it, and they want it now, and
mhm,
they look at what you and your husband have,
mhm,
and they think that, oh, I saw them living as one, so that could just happen to me, not knowing that you and your husband been together 40 plus years. That's
that's right.
40 plus years to get
That's right.
there.
That's right. That's right.
So
I,
so
I
so it
tell
is
me.
like my children see Tanya and I in our house, and they think that, oh, okay, this house ever existed. No,
No.
this came with sacrifice.
And that is why we have to teach them, train
Yes,
them what it's
yes,
all about. There are
hmm,
certain steps that has to be followed first.
yes, yeah,
And but the sad thing, Doc, we alluding to the younger generation, but we also have those who are more seasoned, but yet
mm,
still don't know. Not because you're 50, 67 means that you understand
hmm,
marriage.
hmm,
And
hmm,
that's why you can see it on such a widespread that, there's a constant recycling. You know that I want to be with this person. He makes me happy, but it's just this one thing. Or she makes me happy, but it's just this one thing. And that one thing is enough to cause your relationship to end. It was enough to cause it to end, but you come back together again.
hmm, yeah,
Now, some people believe that you should, if you find this out about a person, they're this, keep walking. I would love for our listening audience to join in even with this conversation right here. Is it
yeah.
the wisest thing for them to keep walking and not look back? Or should, because if you're coming back,
Doc,
recycling, Doc, yeah, If you are recycling, means then that you still want the relationship, but the problem still exists.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Doc.
Yes, yes. I think that before anyone enters a relationship, that they should find out who they are and what they want in life. And there should be some deal breakers.
Yes,
A
yes.
deal breaker for me is you can't cheat on me. So if we boyfriend and girlfriend and I find out that you cheating, then that's okay. There is no recycling. There's no on and off. It's just a off. But
Hmm.
okay, you can't cook. Fine. You and that causes us to get off. You can go learn how
Yeah,
to cook.
go
That's
learn to
not a
cook.
deal breaker.
Yes, yes,
That's a okay. What are we going to do? Because then too now, I may say to Tanya, well, one of my things is, and this is when we were dating. What if I had said one of my things is that you must be able to cook, and Tanya said to me, well, you can forget that. I never will learn how to cook. So we break up over that. And in
wow.
about 3 months, I find out that okay, she's A1 chef now. Okay, well let's
Mhm.
get back into talking. Things
That's
change.
it.
Those type of things change. That was not a deal breaker, but but two. Once you have what you want,
Hmm.
you then look for the person who can fulfill that.
That's
But
right.
if you can't find that person who can fulfill those things, keep it moving. But do not throw out 80% in search of 20 unless
Wow.
that 20 is a deal breaking 20.
Yeah,
But if you're getting the majority of things that you want in that 80%, what what is the off and on about? Uh, um, Things that I liked 10 years ago, I don't like now. Certain
that's right.
things. I loved bananas 10 years ago, but if I eat one now, dog, you got to take me to the hospital because my body says no, 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 you can't eat that no more. People change, things change.
Yes,
Your likes and your dislikes will change.
it will change. It will.
Yeah.
And that is so true, Doc. That is such a good way to put it. Have a deal breaker. And if
Mm,
you go beyond that, if it's a major, like you say, if it's a deal breaker, then there's no option of trying to make it
yeah.
work. But the point is it is it is it good enough to just take the person's word for it? You would see, someone say, well, okay, I know I couldn't cook when we met before. Okay, you recycle, you're coming back together. But you say I couldn't cook then, but I can do little something, but still nothing enough. Do you think then it would be wise to just trust that person's word? They're telling you, oh, I am not a good cook, but I can do something. This is where a problem comes because you can say, okay, you can cook, then let's start this relationship over again.
Mhm,
Only to find out she burned the rice, she burned the egg,
mhm.
but
Oh Lord.
she told you, I can do it now.
Mhm,
And I think a lot of relationship um, find themselves right there.
mhm,
They break off for a particular thing, and they come back and you tell them, look, I can do this now. I'm not that way anymore. I've matured.
mhm.
You think it's wise enough just to take their word for it, or should you now look for something more than that, concrete?
Doc, a person don't have to verbally say to you, I have changed. If they've changed, you will notice it in the way they carry themselves. If and let's stick on the food cooking stuff. If you change, you don't have to tell me, oh, I can cook now. Just invite me over and let me have some food. And let me be the judge of that. Um, but like for somebody like me, food is not a deal breaker because even if you can't cook now, there's so much things now, YouTube, there's so much recipe books out there that we can learn together and see. And that's another thing, we can do it together. Let's go in the kitchen together, let's experiment together and figure out how we can make this work. That's me. Whereas there are some people out there, food is a deal breaker. So what they need to do now is to say, well, if you can't do it, and I'm not prepared to order out every day, then we need to go our separate ways. You
Hmm.
find somebody who food is not a deal breaker for,
Yeah.
and you
But
make it work with them.
right now, Dr. Alvin, now we know that there are some things. If you're only looking, you will see what you want to see, right? There are some things you look in and it looks good. It look like it's changed. It look like, oh yeah, she has improved. It looks that way. Not necessarily being that way, but we go by what we see. We allow the eye to fool us, and we say, okay, it looks like he's changed. He's acting different, and he's doing this different. And a lot of people go into those type relationship are hoping that yes, that person has changed. So it's only from what they see that they believe. And I believe that there are a lot of relationships. I believe there are a lot of relationships that go through this recycling. They're looking at things and believing that it's changed. And some people are good at hiding some things.
Mhm.
Some people are very good at hiding it. And you will believe, well, okay, yes, this changed because he's not acting this way or she's not acting that way anymore. I was talking to somebody and she was so calm, she didn't do that. I believe we need to see more than what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Then the question is
Hmm. Hmm.
how can an individual, is it then by, see, because it means then if I'm going to find out that you're changed, really changed, I would have to be with you again. And I think this brings on the recycling as well,
Yes, it
because
does.
I,
Yes,
so
it
I'm
does.
watching you, and I don't know, maybe then when you have to come back to the recycling, maybe you don't get as close as you were before. Maybe you have casualty,
Hmm.
but I don't know if that's even enough. Doc, what you think?
See, even in this is time. It takes time because people can act dog, but
That's what I'm
even
saying.
the
Yes.
actor, even the actor have to be real sometimes.
Hmm.
So if you give them enough time, and this is why when people do this on and off again, um, marriage is far and in between
Hmm. Yeah.
because I need to make sure that this is what I really want.
Exactly.
So let's deal with someone who may have an anger issue. I can't deal with you because you don't know how to control your anger. Good. 6 months later, you come, you tell me, well, I went to classes and I learned, or I pray and the Lord help me and deliver me from anger. Okay, good. Let's start dating again. So my job, what I would do, dog, is I would put you in situations to see if you know how to bring your anger under control.
Wow, that's good. That is good. And
Because
Doc,
I need to know.
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Hmm. Hmm.
But at the same time, Doc, the recycling can be good because then you're not going to go back to that relationship where you would have been initially. You may
Yes.
be
Yes.
casually. That's the
Yes.
difference, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
If you date casually, this is for you now to see if this is what you really want to get into.
Hmm.
Because when you're talking about serious issues such as anger,
Yeah.
I believe that's a one time shot. Because
Yeah.
if you have an anger issue, I don't know if I
Hmm.
want to even start a relationship again.
Yeah. And see, Doc, this goes back to what we talked about a long time ago. This is why we encourage young persons or those who want to get into the dating arena. First of all, don't start a relationship titling you my girlfriend, boyfriend. Because the
Mhm.
minute you put that title on it,
Yes,
people start to put up these walls,
yes,
and they go from being themselves to start acting.
yes, yes.
The best place to start is you are my friend.
That's right.
There's no need for me to act around my friends. I'm
That's
gonna
right.
be Alvin around my friends.
That's right.
So it is. I watch Tanya around our friends. I saw how she is. She never saw me as a threat. So she never had to say, well, I need to act around Alvin because
Hmm.
Alvin may be looking at me in a certain way. No,
Right.
we were all just friends, and she was being herself, and that is what drew me to her.
Hmm. Wow.
So if you start a relationship, oh, I see you for the first time, or the first, oh, I am madly in love with you. You are my queen. You are my wife. Boom. That sets up all kind of walls, all kind of barriers where now you now have to do all this off again, on again, because you started wrong, and
That's right.
and the person wasn't being who they really were, but they were being who they think you want them to be.
Hmm. Yeah.
So 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 now you're finding out, okay, you look good, but you ain't acting right.
Mm. Mm. Wow. That is so true. And that's why I love friendship first. We had
Mm.
we had another guest on the program, and they spoke about the same thing, the Davos, about being friends first. See,
Mhm.
and I like that, Doc, because when you are friends, you just be yourself, like you said.
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't have to hide. So then the other person can see, is this somebody I want? This is how she acts. And that should be a good way to find a person, a relationship. Most of the time, people look for relationship on how you look on the outward, but you need to find what's going on the inside of that person, right? Learn to know who that person is. So if you know me, then you know what you're seeing. That's me. So back to recycling,
Mhm.
it can be good, and I believe that there are some situations where we go to recycling, and it's an unhealthy and cycling.
Yes,
I left
yes.
him because he made me angry. I left her because she didn't give me a gift. So these are unhealthy recycling. So
Childish
I
issues.
there that brings in the maturity, the lack of
Yes.
maturity. So
Hmm.
when you find a person is recycling, every other month they are back together, they're off today, they're on tomorrow. For those persons, the best thing they can do is keep walking their separate
Yes.
ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's totally, Dr. Alvin, unhealthy.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Right?
Let me there's a story in the Bible, Doc, that really doesn't have to deal with husband and wife, but I think the principle is there. The principle of what we're talking about today in relationships is there. Paul and Barnabas went on a missionary journey, and Barnabas carried his cousin or nephew. I don't remember who John Mark was to Barnabas, but he was some relative of Barnabas.
Uh-huh.
He carried John Mark with them, and John Mark, his actions during that missionary journey was so grievous to Paul that Paul said to Barnabas, "Listen, I don't mind going on missionary journeys with you, but if you gonna bring John Mark, I ain't got no time." And the
That's
Bible says that their argument was so heated that they had to bring in the council of the apostles.
mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah,
apostles came in and said to Paul and Barnabas, listen, Barnabas, if you feel that you need John Mark to go with you, you and Paul just separate.
that's
Let
right.
Paul go his way, you go your way, and y'all can still build up God's kingdom separate and apart.
That's right.
So they separated. Now,
Mm-hmm.
later in Paul's ministry, on Paul's last missionary journey, as recorded, he he in his letter says to I think it's Timothy or one of those. He says, "When you come, bring John Mark with you because he is needed for the mission."
That's right.
And when you read that, you're like, hold on, now, isn't this the same Paul who was like, boy, I don't want John Mark around me?
Mm-hmm.
Years later, John Mark had improved, he has matured, and
Mm-hmm.
now he has been tested, and he is now proven that Paul is saying, I could use him now.
Yes. Yes.
So I agree that there are some relationships who may have started prematurely because
Mm,
somebody is not at the level that they need to be. And one of the partners may say, you know what, I just ain't got time for that. I
mm-hmm.
ain't got time to help you. I ain't got time to teach you. You need to go and learn, and then we could reconvene in the future.
Right.
And then we were off again. Then we get back, and when I realized, I like, okay, now hold it now. You are everything that I saw, but just wasn't developed yet. Now
Mm-hmm.
I can see those things in you. So
Yeah.
there is, or there could be a good thing in this recycling of on again, off again, so that one can mature. But if on again, off again, and there's nothing being dealt with, you still the same person, you still immature, you still not growing, your issues are still your issues, then that relationship will be toxic. We should avoid that at all costs.
That's right. You know, I totally agree with that. And I'm reminded of a relationship that I heard about where the husband and wife they parted because
Mhm.
of interference in the relationship. But
Mm.
years later, she married somebody else, he married somebody else. But years later, both of their spouses died. And guess what?
They
They
came
came
back again.
back together
Mhm.
and they loved each other. So
Uh-huh.
there are some things you just have to leave it alone and go
Mhm.
your separate ways. Those
Mhm.
unhealthy ones, the ones that
Yeah.
are healthy, where you need a break. I wouldn't even call that off and on relationship, though. Now that
Yeah.
we've got to this point of it, those are just little breaks that you take to remind yourself, you know. But when we talk about really serious off and on, you know, if you're off is because anger issue, or he is a beater, or she is
Oh, wow.
those type, you know, then if it's off, some of them need to stay off and
Yes. Do
go
not
in your
be in an abusive relationship.
no, no.
Yeah.
So
That person
so
is immature.
right,
Doc, I say anyone who is abusive, they have not found out who they are.
exactly.
And if they don't know who they are, then they can't appreciate you for who you
Mhm.
are.
Exactly.
Because when I look at Tanya, I need to see Alvin.
That's right.
And if I love Alvin and I'm not going to beat up on Alvin, why should I beat up on Tanya?
Exactly.
Because she should be me.
Hmm. So if you are getting more than that, then those are red flags too,
Yes, yes.
because it simply means then that that person is going through much more than meets your eyes,
Uh
and
huh.
you cannot
Uh-huh.
fix her, you cannot fix him, as you said,
Hmm.
Doc. When we started, you know, people go in with their hopes that maybe I can change him, I can
Yeah.
get him not to do it. No, you cannot get him to do it. What you know now, deal with it now and keep
Mhm.
moving. For
Yeah.
your peace of mind, and maybe there are persons who right now are off and contemplating, doc, to go back again into it. If the
Yeah.
reason you drop out was because there was a problem, and especially if you're dealing with more than one issues, doc, you need to
Hmm.
just relax that relationship and live your life and be happy. But when you're trying to
Hmm.
fix it or force it,
Hmm.
there's a sound that says if it if it don't fit, don't force it. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. If he or
Yeah.
she doesn't have the qualities you're looking for,
Hmm.
do not try put it in them. You know, start.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not your job.
That's not for you to do. You
Hmm.
know, but I love the friendship first. But if persons are in such relationship or contemplating going into, sit down and look at whether it's worth it, what is lacking, how you have to. Toxic relationship is not easy, dog. That's stress. That's
No. No.
stressful. So
Yeah. Yeah.
if you don't need the unnecessary stress, don't take it on.
Leave it
I
alone.
I had a little cousin that was going through some issues with a relationship, and she reached a point. She got tired. She said, "You know what? I'm going my way. You go your way. Let me be free like a butterfly. I don't want to be bound down with problems that I don't
Hmm.
need. Sometimes you
Yeah.
just gotta fly away. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. And nothing wrong with that. Nothing's
nothing
wrong
is
with that. Um, you have to make sure, because when we talk about marriage, marriage is for life. It is not, um let's go into this for a week and see if we like it, and if we don't like it, then we go our separate ways.
no.
um when you covenant with somebody, you covenant with them for life. And I was listening to Dr. Miles Monroe uh, do a teaching, doc, and he says this: marriage, well, the divorce in marriage is worse than death in marriage.
Yes.
Both of them, the death of your spouse and the divorce of your spouse, cause a tearing of the soul.
That's right.
Both of them does that. However, in the divorce case, you get to see the person. You may still, the person is still living. You see them. You may see them with another person, and
Wow.
that pain and that wound could reopen.
Yes.
However, if your loved one, your spouse died, that's it. You could rest in your mind that, listen, John or Sally is laying in the tomb. That's it
Mhm.
for them, and you
Right.
could now begin to heal on that. It's easier to heal from the death of a spouse than it is to heal from the divorce of a spouse.
Yes. 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 Wow.
So before you even get there,
Hmm.
you need, in this dating arena, to evaluate, is this person someone that I can deal with for the rest of my life?
Yes.
Or is this something that I know for in 2, 3 years, this thing can make no sense? If
Yes.
that's the case, then don't let it make sense now.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Doc, as we are nearing our final hour, minutes in an hour, one of the things I would say to our listening audience, especially those who may be in such situation, recycling, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. When you see what you see, don't lie to yourself.
Yes.
Deal with it. Because we
Mhm.
can cover some things up and we can see what we want and we can hear what we want. Be honest with ourselves and see if going back or or going away from is the right thing to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
You don't have to break off a relationship to prove this is not working.
Yeah.
I mean, no, let me rephrase that because that sounds kind of off. You don't have to break a relationship to know that I want this relationship. You know, in other words, you go in and you want to come back. You don't have to test the water then. Let me put it that way. You don't have
Yeah.
to test
Yeah.
the water.
Yeah.
If you see something is not right, you deal with it. Like we
Mhm.
said, trust is the number one. And
Mhm.
if we do not have that trust for our significant other, we don't trust ourselves, you don't need to be in a relationship. But there are some relationship that's worth trying, make it work, you know. We can't just throw everything away. Make it work.
Yeah.
And and,
Yeah. You
and
got to.
yeah, and in other words, that was not a passport just to end a relationship. Make it work.
Mhm.
There are sometimes things happen in relationship, husband and wife, or and you
Mhm.
feel that, oh, I want out of this marriage, but you haven't even started dating, you haven't even started living good together, right? If you
So
have a
true.
if you have a serious problem, beating, um, 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 anger, all of these stuff, then you know you need help. You need help
Mhm.
because I don't encourage persons to stay in abusive relationship.
No, not at all.
If that person loves you, they should not beat you. They should not um, um, throw all types of words at you. You know, you
Mhm.
have to
Mhm.
now come together and decide where you want to make it work. What do you want to put in? 100%? I put in 100%.
Yeah.
We hold each other accountable for our actions, and that's how we
Yes.
can go beyond recycling. You know.
So
So,
true.
Dr. Alvin, I don't know you. What is your final words to the audience? You can.
My final word is before, and this is for those who are not in relationships as yet. You are in a good place. Before you even try to find someone, find yourself first, who you are. And then, too, spend time with yourself. Enjoy being you,
Mm-hmm,
enjoy your company. If you want ice cream, go treat yourself to ice cream. If you want a vacation, go treat yourself. You don't have to go out with nobody. Go do it to yourself. Treat yourself. Enjoy being who you are as a person. Because as you do that, you then start to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And then you figuring that out, then you know what you want and what you don't want.
mm-hmm,
What would be your real your deal breakers? Well, I don't want a man to treat me like this, but I don't want a woman to do this to me. I need this. And then you now know what you once you have found your identity, then you know who you need to go look for. You know your strengths, your weaknesses. Then you know, okay, I can go to the next level now. Then amongst your friends, you may be like me, so blessed as me to get a group of friends, and the love of your life is one of those persons.
mm-hmm,
You then see those qualities. Oh wow, that's a quality that I like. Oh, that's a quality that I don't like. Oh, that's a keeper. Oh, that's a deal breaker. You have to now then go and do that. And as you do that, then now you you go into more relationships, knowing what you want and what you don't want. And after you have assessed what you want, then move. Go for it, do what you have to do, and then you have to make sure you know that you are never, and I put down, you are never going to find any person who's going to be 100% of what you want, because you yourself will not be 100% for what anybody else wants. Marriage relationship has to be a give and a take. You just need to know that. But what are you going to give? What are you going to be willing to take? And then you work those stuff out, undergirded with love, undergirded with trust, undergirded with the fact that, listen, I'm in this for the long haul. And then you got to have that stickability, dog. You got to stick in there and wake it. And it will work if you work it.
Yes. Good, good, great advice. It can work if you work it. And we wish to thank you for spending this hour with us. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. And please, if you have any questions, comments, please send us your questions, send us your comments. We would love to hear from you. And we say, have a great Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.